So the Steelers have the 21st overall pick this year in the NFL draft, and while there is a lot of players they could pick at 21, a lot of people are saying the smarter choice is to trade down in the draft in order to acquire more capital. So in this one, we are going to be doing that exact strategy. In my last mock draft, I just picked rounds 1 through 7 what the Steelers had. But obviously, we don't have a second round pick this year, and that is something that is going to be very vital in order to acquire more depth and to fill in the holes that we already have. We know about the quarterback thing. Is Aaron Rodgers going to sign? Today he hasn't. Tomorrow will he? The next day will he? We don't know. And so getting the most picks possible is definitely in our best interest. So as I mentioned in this mock draft, we're going to be doing some trades. I have one trade in mind, which is obviously the pick 21, kind of flipping that and getting more capital for that. But then maybe even a player of some sorts. I'll just have to show you guys, right? So we're going to head into the draft, and I'm going to show you the trades that I made. So we're starting it off hot. In my first trade, I have traded Pat Freiermuth to the Colts in order to get their second round pick. And I know guys, a lot of you guys are fans of Muth, right? If you've been on my channel, you know how I feel about him. I think he's pretty good, but I just don't see all this hype, right? And we drafted him in the second round. So to get a second round pick back, I don't think that's that bad. And once again, this was accepted. This was, I didn't force trade it or whatever. We pretty much, we even out. We took him for a second. We traded him for a second. I don't think that's that bad. And so now we have pick 45. And then for our second trade, we have traded with the Detroit Lions. We get pick 28, pick 102, and a third round pick in the next draft for pick 21. Now, this one may be a little uneven. Maybe we got fleeced low-key, but the Lions, they move up 9 spots. And we're sitting at pick 28, and now we have another third, and we have a second round pick in order to work with. And so with all that said, let's see who we can draft now. So we're going to go ahead and start the draft. Obviously, we're going to be farther down. And we're here at pick 28. We have Luther Burden here. We have James Pierce, Omarion Hampton. Last time I kind of was off the wall. I took Egbuka at, what did I take him at? I took him at 21. They end up taking Tyler Booker here. So shout out to the Lions for this trade. And I'm seeing Derek Harmon here. And low-key, I think Derek Harmon is who we're going to be going with, because this one I want to make it a little more realistic. Omarion Hampton is still here too. That could potentially be somebody, but I don't know. I think running back, it gets a little deeper, especially with us having pick 45. We're going to pick Derek Harmon at pick 28. So we trade down. We still get a defensive lineman that we like. And now we have a second round pick. And so now here at pick 45, let's see. We got Xavier Watts. He's someone who I've seen maybe Minka, maybe we're going to deal Minka. Maybe something's going to happen with him. And so, maybe Xavier Watts is the guy. Maxwell Harrison, he's another cornerback who's been pretty hyped up this year. He didn't have the best year this year through injury. But I gave it some thought, and who knows if this is going to actually happen on draft night, but we've been talking about it for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe are still on the board. And truthfully, between the two, I think it's going to be Jackson Dart. I think this guy, he's just, 92, 91. He's had some great seasons at Ole Miss. We're going to go ahead and take Jackson Dart in the second round. Now, if that's actually possible, we'll have to see, because the way he's flying up the draft boards, I'm just not sure that's going to happen. But we take Jackson Dart. And now here we are at pick 83. We have Kyle Williams, who's still on the board. This is a guy I talked about a second ago. Apparently, we had a top 30 visit with him. Damian Martinez is still here. He could be someone in the extra running back position. Obviously, we don't have Najee Harris anymore. We have Jaylen Warren. Maybe that's like a 1-2 punch right there. Savion Williams, this is another guy who we brought in for a top 30 visit. I think, it's between, for me, let's see, Jalen Royals, how did he do? It's between, for me now, Kyle Williams, RJ Harvey, or Damian Martinez. Now, I wanted to take Damian in the last mock draft I did, but looking at his average draft position, he's kind of in the, where is he at? He's picked at 99 overall. RJ Harvey is 83. I am a draft, casual, right? I'm not an expert, and so you guys got to let me know down in the comments, right now, who should I be taking right now? Because I feel like I have a pretty good start to this mock draft, so I don't want to fuck it up. I'm going with the vibes, though. I'm getting a guy like Damian Martinez. If this is the wrong pick, maybe I should get RJ Harvey. Maybe I should get Kyle Williams. Let me know down in the comments. But we're going to take Damian Martinez with our third overall pick. And we pick again relatively soon. And Kyle Williams is still here. What is he? 130? Damn, we have 102. Let's keep looking around. Jaden Blue down here. Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond has really fell off. I feel like he was someone who was pretty hyped up coming into it. But he's fallen off a bit. But I keep seeing him here. Kyle Williams. We brought him in for a visit. Hold on. Look at the other wide receiver prospects real quick. Obviously, Isaiah Bond, Isaac T. Salah. I don't know who that is. Tez Johnson. Has he been someone who's been flying up? His average draft position is 100. Do we go out and get Tez Johnson, man? Because I feel like he's been kind of flying up the boards. Had a good game against Michigan State. Had a really good game against Penn State. How big is this guy? He's 5'10", Tez Johnson. Do we pick him? Do we pick him? You know what? We're going to go with Tez Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we're here now at pick 123, and Kyle Williams is still on the board, man. That's interesting. I'm telling you, I keep seeing him on the like kind of chart for the Steelers. Maybe we're gonna pick him. I'm not sure, but we've had Derek Harmon, Jackson Dart, Damian Martinez, and Tez Johnson, two people from Oregon. Now maybe we know we got three offensive players, one defensive player. Maybe we kind of look at the defensive side. Trevor Etienne still on the board. Riley Leonard still on the board, but we got our quarterback. Brashard Smith is someone who I kind of like. Obviously out of SMU, maybe that's a guy we can get. Dylan Gabriel's on the board as well. Torrey Holton, I've kind of heard a little bit about. Now, hold on, let me see. Let me look at the corner prospects. Is there anybody? We got some safeties on the board. What about Jonas Sanker? How did he do? Not really the best. What about Billy? You know, I will not take a defensive player from Oklahoma. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm sleeping, but they're just. I don't think they really churn out defensive players like that. We got Noah Williams right here. 6'1", he's a size for press coverage. Also happens to be comfortable and confident. He likes to be physical in how he covers. Maybe we go out and get a Noah Williams. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to get Noah Williams because obviously we have Darius Slay. Obviously we have JPJ, but we still do need a little bit more depth in that cornerback department. So now we are at pick, what are we at? Pick 156. Okay, we need a tight end. You know, obviously we traded Muth. Let's look at some of the tight end prospects. We got Benjamin Eurosick. Oh my God, not the best overalls there. Jake Bringstall, oh my God, not the best overalls there. If we want to re-up on the tight end position, there are a lot of top end tight ends like in the first and second rounds who maybe we can look at. But as far, shout out to my guy Connaughton Mumfield, man. He is rising up these draft boards. Low key, I kind of want to take him for the vibes, but his average draft position is 213. So we're gonna hold off on that. I think we can get him a little later. Quincy Riley, this is somebody I've seen mentioned for the Steelers before. Kobe King, linebacker. Jackson Dawes. How about Jackson Dawes? Jackson Dawes. He's not really the greatest. What about another guard maybe for some depth? What are we going to do with pick 156? All right, guys, I know what I said about Oklahoma defensive players, right? But we got a guy here. His name is Danny Stuntsman. And we're going to look at his PFF grades real quick. His run defense grade is through the roof. Now, obviously, we have Peyton Wilson. Obviously, we have, what's the guy we got from the Ravens? Patrick Queen. Obviously, we have the linebackers kind of, set. But this guy is really good against the run. We got the defensive lineman to help us out with that. Now let's go get a linebacker to help us out with that. And so we have two more picks left. Damn, I want to take Connaughton Mumfield for the vibes. I'm going to take Connaughton Mumfield for the vibes. You guys can sue me out there. Taking him in the second or in the sixth round, maybe it was a reach, but I just wanted to get the guy. And with our last pick in this draft, maybe we get a tight end. This guy's, you know what, Iowa Hawkeyes, I should maybe do some more research. Let me know down in the comments right now any of these guys you would take. But I might just have to take the tight end out of Iowa because it is a tight end out of Iowa. This Oronde Gadsden. Oh my, wait a second. He's got some 80 overall grades. You know what? Damn, do we think too hard about this? You know what? We're gonna get Oronde Gadsden the second. That is gonna be our last overall pick, and that's gonna do it for this draft. We got 2 awards. Let's see what they end up grading us here. Did we have a good mock draft? Derek Harmon is a F. Whoa, Jackson Dart is an F. This is the shit I'm talking about with PFF. How is Jackson Dart an F when all I've heard is, yo, Jackson Dart, Jackson Dart, Jackson Dart, Jackson Dart. Maybe we should have took Jalen Milroe. I don't know. But here's the overall grades. Apparently this draft sucked. I got a C+ in my last one. I got a B-. But I don't know. I feel like I like this draft more than my original one. Maybe it's because of the trades. If the trades are unrealistic, let me know. But yeah, I like this draft. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Once again, I'm a casual. Like, I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this for the vibes. Please don't roast me for my picks. But I like this. I like this draft. I think we came away really good. But the grades don't seem to think so. So it is what it is. Anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments what you think. That is going to do it for another mock draft video from us. So if you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. I make videos about the Steelers all the time. And soon we're going to have so many new Steelers to meet. Anyways, this has been Zaya from Zaya and the Steelers, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.